new tape here. Shot of the geraniums and salvia, Dusty Miller. See the geraniums in full bloom. And here's a shot of the bed near the house, which Grace has indicated she wants to change for next year because the oriental poppies look kind of raggy for most of the year. She wants more color in there. The back of the house. See, I'm not really impressed with the marigolds this year. It's a very tough spot to grow flowers in. It gets very hot and dry. But the marigolds got real leggy. Compost bin, I've got some pink cress growing on there and some type of squash or pumpkin. Came up from seed after I turned the pile. Decided to let it grow. My plant's about 5.5 feet tall now. Still hasn't quite flowered. Until lilies. Lily planted through 64 buds. We don't know exactly why, but you can see the flowers aren't as pretty or as large. Another oriental lily on the same scale. Zoom out a bit. It's very heavily fragrant. New lily, this one just recently opened. You can see the plant is just starting to produce. I would think this lily is somewhat similar to this one, only it didn't overproduce in the bud department. Portugal. You can see it's really producing very nicely, with some of them just starting to turn colors. The plant hasn't turned yet. And here's another Octiciver plant. I think if you can read it. Civery. Old spike hybrid pepper. And zoom in on the peppers here. View of the hot pepper bed. And over there we've got onions and pink cress, basils in the far bed, and some dill. The gypsy pepper. Tip of the purple bell. See the shine coming off of the purple bell right in the center of the plant. Giant yellow banana sweet pepper. Pimento. And notice it's just solid pepper. Gypsy. Plants didn't get that big so far this year, but they sure are producing an excellent first crop. And here's a shot of the celosias. with the sweet peppers in the background. Quite large, and I don't think they'll match the ones I got last year. Kind of interesting. Red glads. Garlic is really through. The elephant garlic on the end. Melons. Crenshaw. Looks now like I'm going to have about 10 Crenshaws this year. See if we can see some more in around there. There's one. Galaceum or something like that. It's a hybrid melon that really produced. To remember to grow a few more of these if they taste good. There's about 6 or 7 of them right in a clump of a yellow glad called Bonnie. Melons in here are a French hybrid. This one is called Charmel. They also produced a tremendous crop. Let's take a peek at the kohlrabi. You can see they're really starting to grow now. About 3-4 inches across. These are the Yugoslavian variety that's supposed to produce 10-pound heads. This plant. See, it's pretty much done flowering and the seed is forming now. Those are 2 plants together. The pumpkin patch. I figure there's about 20 pumpkins in there right now. Fairly hard to see on the black and white screen here. Hopefully I'll have enough for a class. The burpee butterboy squash. Looks pretty nice. This is a variety of vegetable spaghetti called orangetti. Difference is the color. It's also quite prolific. The blue banana squash, which my folks liked so much. You can see there's one starting in there. A fence line. I cleaned out the black raspberry canes this year from last year, yesterday. See, it opened up the bushes quite a bit. And I weeded that area. It's a lot nicer. Review of some of the daylilies. There's an awful lot blooming now. This is in the A section, probably A2. An overview of the daylily in the fence line. And I think I'm going to go get the book so I can label these right away. This is not the entire crop, it's probably about 1/3 of the crop. But what impresses me is the size this year. Never grown them quite that large. This one is A2. This is A7. This is A18. This one is A10. This is B1. B2, just starting to open. This is B3. This is B5. This is B16, B10, B10. This one is B18, C9, there is C10, C14, C14. This one is C13. This one is C6. Here of C7. This is D2. I must have mistakenly hit the wipe feature. I will leave it on. Got a correction. The last one was D10. This is D2. This one is D4. This is D16. This is D13. This one is D6. This one is D15. Now we have D9. This is a shot of a first-year delphinium from seed for a little daylily relief. Also, here's a shot of the pinks growing in the end of the garden. Back to daylilies, this is E7. And here's E13. This is E16. E16. Shot of the pickling cucumbers with late season corn in the background. And the dill. And my shadow. Armenian cucumber. It's next to a sign that says Kyoto. Those did not germinate. There's a shot of some of the onions I put in at the end of the pole bean row. See, the pole beans just aren't doing so hot. These are our dry beans with the frilly stuff here being a soybean, Kabuli soybean from Afghanistan. You can see a few of the bean pods there. Tall syrup sorghum. Put the date on there. Over here we have my shadow again and broomcorn millet. And we'll see if we can zoom in on one of the heads. Doubt if we'll be able to keep it in focus. Polish wheat. A very attractive seed head. Of naked oats. Seed head on there is not quite so attractive. The hulless barley bordered by the naked oats and buckwheat. Zoom in on the seed head here. And there is our buckwheat. Loved by the birds and bees. There's some red Boston head lettuce I put in. Let's see if I could get a fall crop. Most of the broccoli and cauliflower I put in that was not protected, the bugs just descended on it and eliminated it. Suppose a tender new shoot growth, just what they were looking for. But these lettuce seedlings seem to be doing very well. For the Zeppelin cucumber, you're going to notice that you have a lot of cucumber beetles. Some of them must be carrying that wilt disease. It's been striking some of the plants. On the end, for change of pace, I put purple morning glory. Over here you can see the tomatoes, and we've got a number of them ripening down in there.